Bismillah wa billah walhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala ahli bayti tayyibin al-tahirin al-ma'sumin amma ba'd. Dear brothers and sisters in Iman, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. For the fifth night of Ramadan al-Mubarak, the book I have chosen is The Heirs of the Prophet, Charisma and Religious Authority in Shia Islam, written by Professor Liaquat Takim, who is the Sharjah Chair in Global Islam at McMaster University in Canada. First thing I wanted to say about this book is that it is very well written and quite important, but for anyone who is a postgrad student in religious studies, like myself, you will sort of have a stress trigger of some sorts when reading it, because the very first course in almost all universities for fresh postgrad students in my field is the horrid theory and methods of religions course, in which the likes of E.B. Tyler, James Fraser, Max Weber, Karl Marx, Freud, Emile Durkheim, Clifford Geertz, Mircea Eliade, and works of other outdated Western scholars are beat into one's head. And Professor Liaquat Takim, for some reason, in this work, chose to use the methodology and terminology of the 19th century Max Weber on charismatic authority to present his thesis. Nonetheless, what is Max Weber's charisma in relation to authority? He says, a certain quality of an individual personality, by virtue of which he is set apart from the ordinary men and treated as endowed with supernatural, superhuman, or at least specifically exceptional powers or qualities. These are such as are not accessible in the ordinary person, but are regarded as of divine origin, or as an exemplary, and on the basis of them the individual concerned is treated as a leader. How the quality in question would be ultimately judged from an ethical, aesthetic, or other such point of view is naturally indifferent for the purpose of definition. So Professor Liaquat Takim in this work wanted to show how different groups in Islamic history attempted to use the heirs of the Prophet traditions to somehow grasp the Weberian charismatic authority. Historically, the different groups being appropriated with the prophetic mantle were four. First, the Umayyad and the Abbasi Khulafa, the scholars within the Sunni community, the Sufi holy men, and the Shi'ite imams and with their disciples. So let's briefly glance at how these different groups tried to appropriate the charismatic authority for themselves as based off this book. The Umayyad and Abbasi Khulafa, by sitting on the throne of Caliphate, maintained temporal authority. So they somehow argued that they were to be recognized as the heirs, for they politically occupied the same office as did Muhammad, peace be upon him, no matter how debauched and corrupt they were. The second group, the Sunni scholars, wrestled with the Umayyad and Abbasi Khulafa for power by claiming religious authority on the grounds of their self-proclaimed role as inheritors of the religious tradition. Their authority was anchored in their interpretations and articulations of normative law, which gave them the ability to command and manipulate the sentiments of the commoners. The third group, the Sufis, laid claim to the title of heirs of the Prophet by trying to replicate the Prophet's spiritual journey and by advancing certain modes of spiritual and biological links to the Prophet, which dealt with certain oaths, allegiances, and initiations. Fourthly, the Shi'is insisted that their imams were the sole inheritors of the Prophet, peace be upon him, for the very belief in the concept of imamat demanded that the A'imma possess the same comprehensive authority as a prophet, both religious and political, in totality. So, Professor Liaquat Takim takes a time out to identify the four competing groups, but then primarily focuses on the Shi'i Imams and how they diffuse their charismatic authority to their disciples, the Rijal, who further diffused it to the Shi'i ulama, which later morphed into the judicial authority we see today in the ranks of the Shi'i. The entire system of the Marja'iyat and the Wilayat al-Faqih system in Iran are all deriving from interpretations of the heirs of the Prophet tradition and its accompanying charismatic authority. Therefore, for those interested in the topic of Islam and authority, this book is an excellent read. So that's a brief overview of this book. Please give me feedback as to how I can improve these reviews, and if you have gained anything of benefit from these videos, please reward me with your prayers. Till tomorrow night. Assalamu alaikum. Fi amanillah.